Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for the series premiere of Agent Carter, Season 1, Episode 1, Now Is Not the End. Now, I honestly didn't know what to think of this show. I didn't see any previews for it. All I knew is that it was replacing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I saw Agent Carter, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and loved what I saw of it, of course. And also, of course, I really liked her character in Captain America, First Avenger, and Captain America Winter Soldier, briefly, as she was in. And I was definitely looking forward to it. I wouldn't say it was, extremely looking forward to it. It wasn't, like, one of my most anticipated shows. But I gotta say, this, honestly, is... Marvel did a good job with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. However, they did an amazing job with Agent Carter. Agent Carter is better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I like the story more. I already like the show more. There's so many things I like about Agent Carter more. And honestly, it really is, a lot of people have said this, it really is ABC's The Flash. Because, The Flash is a more fun show. And while I wouldn't call Agent Carter a fun show, it definitely has a lot of that sort of element to it. That I really love, and there's so many things I love that this episode did. There's so many things that I loved about this show, and honestly, I feel that this is going to be Marvel's show. Honestly, I really feel that this is going to be better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I can already tell it's going to be. But let's just get this episode because I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great premiere. So we start off actually at the end of Captain America, the First Avenger, which I thought was a good way to start it because, that was the last time we actually saw Peggy Carter, Captain America speaking to her and he crashes the Red Skull's plane in the ocean. Then we find out that Peggy is actually daydreaming about this. She's broken from the daydream by her tea kettle whistling in her dingy apartment. She picks up a newspaper about a story about Howard Stark being in trouble for selling weapons tech. Now, her first morning routine is spliced with flashback clips to the First Avenger. She's interrupted by her roommate, Colleen, who I really liked Colleen's character. She's returning from an exhausted work shift, and her place of employment is short-staffed because they let several women go to make room for untrained returning soldiers. That's one of the things I really like about the show. It really shows how men viewed women in the 1940s. I think it actually is one of the best parts of the show, is sort of like how they viewed women. It was very well done in my opinion. So, Carter tries to return a borrowed hat, but Colleen tells her to keep it and teases her about not finding a date. Now, basically, Peggy gets reads for her real job, and while Colleen thinks she's preparing for work at the phone company, she doesn't actually know what her real job is. So, Peggy, standing from the gray male crowd in her bright red, white, and blue outfit, goes to the phone company. She greets Rose. I gotta say, Peggy's character is so funny. I didn't realize how funny the show really is. There are some really funny moments here. And I love the spunk to her. She's so great. And I'll talk about that when I get to the acting. But a superior calls all hands on deck. He tells her that it means she needs to cover the phone, but she refuses to be left behind. She tells Rose to forward all calls to the briefing room and goes to the meeting. And we see a newsreel detailing Howard Stark's recent troubles. A congressional hearing questions him about selling weapons to the enemies of the United States. Honestly, out of everything I was looking forward to in the show, I was looking forward to Howard Stark the most, because, of course, Howard Stark is Tony Stark's father, and essentially, what got Tony Stark into this whole mess. So I definitely want to see what Howard Stark brought to the table. And basically, Howard Stark, he's handling in a very similar way to how his son Tony Stark. You can definitely see that he was very much his son. Tony Stark is basically his father. He really is a reincarnation of his father. So I thought that was really cool to see. And I definitely enjoyed seeing Howard Stark. I think he's a very good character, and I can't wait to see what else they do with him. So the SSR head explains that 6 of Stark's weapons have been found. Stark didn't show for his final day of hearings and has gone missing. He's now a fugitive, and the SSR needs to find him. He puts an officer named Thompson in charge, but Peggy objects to treating Howard like a criminal, and the head dismisses Peggy's complaints out of hand because she's a woman. They don't really feel that she knows what she's talking about because, she's a woman, and back then, they didn't really have a say, so they don't really agree with what she's saying. but a disabled agent named Sousza sticks up for her. And you can definitely tell that there's gonna be something between them, but I really liked his character. Another agent makes some lewd remarks, and Peggy tells Sousza that she wishes she wouldn't do that he wouldn't do that. She doesn't want him to have to do that for her, but he wants to. He tells her that he wants to, he cares about her, he wants her to do well in this, and I thought that was a definitely really well done scene. I definitely really enjoyed that. So, basically, Thompson passes off his fling and paperwork to Peggy, and Peggy's reading a book in a diner, and the waitress, Angie, comments on Howard's good looks. And Peggy gets snippy, and Angie asks what's wrong, and she says it's just work, and she laments losing the sense of purpose she had during the war, though she still codes it as working at the phone company. And Angie relates the story of a bad audition, says everyone has to pay their dues. And one of the diner's regulars starts complaining loudly at Angie, and she leaves. And Peggy gets up to slice a pie to get a slice of pie. And when she returns, there's a note on a napkin telling her to meet someone in an alley in 5 minutes. So she goes to the alley, and an unfamiliar man tells her she's coming with him. And she punches him and runs, and it's a very weird scene the way that was done. I thought it was very well done, though. A car pulls out from across the street and follows her. She shoots out the tire, and then there's Howard Stark. And in the car, Howard tells Peggy that he was set up. He had a vault with all of his most dangerous inventions that he kept hidden from everyone, even his friends. Someone tunneled inside and stole those inventions and began selling them on the black market. He can't tell Congress because they'll think he's pulling off an elaborate ruse to make money on the inside. And he needs Peggy to clear his name and says she's the only one that she's the only one he trusts. So I thought that this was very well done what was going on here. Basically she's going to help him with this. So they pull up to a dock and get out of the car. Howard says he's heading overseas to track down some of his inventions that have already shown up on the market, and he needs Peggy to look for what is still stateside, including the formula for molecular nitromenin, and it's a substance that's so powerful that even a small drop could level a city block. And he introduces the man that Peggy punched as his butler, Edwin Jarvis. So when they said Edwin Jarvis, I freaked out, because if you guys know who Edwin Jarvis is, he's essentially the man that ends up training Tony Stark. He toned Tony Stark. He started the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. So, the whole thing of the show is how it's going to connect to Ant-Man. That's one of the things about this, but also how it's going to connect to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because I know that this show is going to deal with them setting up S.H.I.E.L.D. Because I know that Howard Stark funded S.H.I.E.L.D. because they said that in the Marvel movies previously. So I definitely think we're going to see that in the show. And if that's true, I'm very excited. So she tells Jarvis to introduce himself next time. And he approaches a woman in an alley. He gives Carter his card. He gives Peggy his card and tells her to call anytime before 9. After that, he goes to bed. And Peggy goes to, and the second they introduced Jarvis, I could tell I was going to love his character. He's a great character. I love Jarvis's character. He's a great character. So Peggy goes back to SSR headquarters and notices some photos of Howard on a boat with a woman on Sousa's desk. And she tells Sousza that Howard can't swim and hates water. And she notices something going on in the office nearby. And Sousza tells him that Thompson is going after a fence named Spider Raymond, who is supposed to be selling a Stark invention. And Peggy offers to get Sousza a refill to check out what intelligence Thompson has and listen in on his conversation. And she fakes lady thing problems to get a sick day from the boss. That was actually very funny when she said that. I thought that was one of the funnier moments of the episode. So Raymond, this guy, Spider Raymond, he's talking to the man who stole the weapons from Howard. He offers more business as the thief tells him what else he got from Howard, but the man says nothing. He gives the man an envelope of cash and he leaves silently. And this scene was just awesome. I love this part. Carter, basically Peggy goes, she's dressed as this glitzy blonde and everything. This is part of her mission. Basically it's going to convince people that, yeah, she does know what she's talking about. And she hears Raymond favors them, and she notices people going upstairs and heads there. Basically that's why she's a blonde, because Raymond is into blonde. So she says she's looking to sell something. I also gotta say, she pulled off an American accent very, very well. I have to say that. She definitely did a very good job with that. So she says she's looking to sell something to Raymond. She puts on some particular lipstick, then enters Raymond's office. Raymond behaves flirtatiously towards her. She tells him she has some friends that are interested in buying the formula. Raymond kisses her and then passes out. Peggy used the device to crack Raymond's safe. She pulls a glowing orb, and That whole scene was just great. She calls Jarvis, tells him that they weaponized the formula. Jarvis grabs some notes left by Howard. He says if the nitro mine is glowing, it's highly volatile and will explode if not handled properly. He tells her how to disable the nitro mine. And Thompson and some men show up to take a look around. A man at the bar takes notice of something happening, goes on the move. One of Raymond's men walks in on Carter. She walks in on Peggy. She knocks him out. Sorry, this says Carter. I'm going to call her Peggy. Peggy goes downstairs, grabs a dance partner to blend in with. Raymond wakes up, sees his safe is empty. The man from the bar walks in the office, finds him there, shoots him. Thompson finds Raymond's body, seals the exit, but Peggy has already left. So Peggy then, that whole scene was awesome. I mean, that whole scene, that chase scene, that was pretty awesome. So Peggy returns to her apartment, and there's Colleen. Now, Colleen is sick in bed. Colleen, basically is sick in bed, and Peggy wants to offer to make her some tea. And she notices her dress, and she's like, she's happy. She looks all formal and everything. She thinks she's on, from a date or something. And Peggy grabs certain items that have chemicals she needs and heads to the bathroom to disable the nitromine grenade. And she succeeds. She hears a noise and walks to the bathroom. And Colleen has them been shot in the head. Now, this makes sense to me because they did not have Colleen listed in the cast at all. So I'm like, why is she not listed? Oh, because she dies in the first episode. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense why they didn't show her, because she dies in the first episode, obviously. Makes sense why they didn't show her, but I thought that was a really good twist, actually. I didn't think they were going to actually kill off Colleen's character, but that was huge when they did that. Remember, guys, I really didn't know anything about this show, which I'm happy about, because I didn't really know how good it was going to be. She sees the man from the bar behind her. They fight. She burns his hand on the stove, throws him out the window. He's not on the ground when she looks out after him, and she then cries over Colleen's body. I mean, you gotta feel bad for her. She's now lost Captain America, her true love, Steve Rogers. She's lost him, and now she's lost, she thinks she's lost him. We know that he's not dead, but she thinks that she's lost him, and now she's lost her best friend, Colleen. So you gotta feel bad for her, and I definitely feel there's more loss to come. And I think the show, honestly, handles emotion very, very well. Really, it does. It handles emotion very well, and I think the way they handled it in that scene was very good. So, Peggy meets back-to-back with Jarvis at the diner. She says there's no way to trace the murder back to her. Her name wasn't on the lease. She's losing her confidence. And Jarvis passes her a tissue backwards and reminds her of everything good she's done in her career. And Peggy says they need to figure out where the grenade came from. And Jarvis says he may know someone. And I thought that was a very good scene. I definitely really enjoyed that. Because, she was kind of doubting herself. She was kind of thinking, maybe I'm not good for this. But I like that he told her, look, you've done a lot of really good things. You can definitely tell that although she's treated like she doesn't know what she's talking about, she does know what she's talking about. I think the show portrays that very, very well. So, Jarvis brings her to see Dr. Anton Vankosh. He studies it, points her to a Roxxon oil refinery, and Vankosh says the nitromine is no longer volatile, but is active. He mentions Vita rays, and Peggy takes note and leaves. Peggy goes to a storage room, pulls out a box labeled Project Rebirth, and probably the saddest scene in the episode. That has documentation on the program that turns Steve Rogers into Captain America, and she remembers her final conversation with Steve. And Sousza walks in, staring at a photo of Steve. He bumps into a filing cabinet with his crutch, and she sees him. He tells her a joking story to cheer her up about his missing leg. She tells him he's one of the lucky ones. He leaves, pulls out, and I really love the friendship between him. He really does care about her, and I definitely like that. So she pulls out a Vita Ray tracking device that belonged to Dr. Roxxon from the box, and the man from the bar hooks the device to a typewriter, begins using it as a messaging device. He asks for permission to kill Carter, and, to kill Peggy, and is told to complete his mission at all costs. And honestly, I thought that he was going to be the big villain of this season. I really thought that they weren't going to kill him in this episode. But yeah, that was definitely very big. So Jarvis and Peggy go to the Roxxon facility, find it well guarded for supposedly being inactive, because that's what they claimed. So Peggy heads inside, leaving a radio with Jarvis. A scientist pulls another nitromine grenade out of the machine. Jarvis sees another truck heading to the factory. He radios Carter. He radios Peggy, alerts the scientist to her presence. The man who stole the first grenade to Raymond makes some adjustments to the machine behind the other scientist's back, and Peggy uses a device to blind the scientist with light. She shoots at the man from the club, but he opens the back of the truck, shows it is full of nitromine grenades. The man has a scar on his throat that looks like a Y, and he has like a hole in his throat, so he has to use like that thing, like those smoking commercials you see. Yeah, like he uses that device. So, the man who broke into Peggy's apartment had a similar scar, and the man says they're not friends. He says, Leave-a-thon is coming. He throws the grenade and leaves on the truck. So, I don't know what Leave-a-thon is, but it's clearly a big deal, and I definitely am looking forward to it. Remember, guys, I don't read the comics. I like to go in fresh. I like to go in not really knowing much about the story. All I know is that they fund S.H.I.E.L.D. That's all I know. So I know that, but what I don't know is what is Leave-a-thon. I don't want to know what it is. Don't tell me what it is because I want to find out myself. So, Peggy makes her getaway, calling Jarvis for a ride. He drives through the gate. Peggy jumps on the roof of the car, crawls inside. The Roxxon refinery implodes on itself, and Thompson goes to see the boss. Tells him he hears someone saw Raymond with a blonde before he was killed. The photographer may have gotten a shot of her. And this was kind of interesting, because I'm wondering if Thompson might be interested in Peggy. It definitely makes it seem like it's not going to be the first time she's in this blonde wig. It definitely seems like she's going to have to be in this disguise more. And if that's true, I'm actually looking forward to it, because she was very funny in that scene. So, Sousza gets a call about the refinery, and then probably the funniest scene in the episode. I thought the scene was really funny. Jarvis and Peggy meet at the diner again. Jarvis says he'll search Howard's files for more on Leave-a-thon. You know, they also want to find out what Leave-a-thon is. They don't know what it is. So, he seems electrified by all the adventure and excitement. He leaves, and Peggy sees the same regular giving Angie a hard time. She stabs him with a fork and tells him he should probably leave a big tip and find someplace else to eat. I thought that was a very funny scene. And I love that Peggy, like, won't let anyone push women around. I think it's a very good message, and I think the show definitely shows that very well. And I think that was definitely a very funny scene. Probably the funniest scene of the episode. Had me laughing. I definitely enjoyed that. So, Jarvis is on the phone with Howard. He says Carter is an excellent choice and that he doesn't think she'll have any... And then the end of the episode, this is huge, and I already know where this is going. Jarvis is on the phone with Howard. He says that Peggy is an excellent choice and that he doesn't think she'll have any suspicions at all, and then the episode ends. Now, what I think this is trying to show, what do I think they're trying to show here? I think what this is trying to show is that Jarvis and Howard want to, recruit Peggy to make S.H.I.E.L.D., basically. I think that's what it's about. If it's not about that, I'm not sure, but I think that's what it's about. I think that's where they're heading with this, because I know they're going to explore that in the show. You can't have Jarvis and Peggy and Howard and not tell me that they're not going to tell us the story of S.H.I.E.L.D. Plus, this is a placeholder for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so why not go into that? I don't understand why not. I mean, Agent Carter was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a reason, so why not go into that? I also don't know if we're going to see, what's his name? I can't think of his name now, but the guy that was the main villain on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't know if we're going to see him in this show or not. I don't know. We'll have to see. But let's get to the show overall. First of all, what do I love about the show? The acting is so good in this show. I have to say, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter is awesome. The second she came on screen, I loved her character. She's so witty. She's so funny. She doesn't let anyone push women around. She's such a badass, too. Any scene where she's doing these fight scenes, she's kicking all these men's ass. It's awesome to watch. And honestly, it's really great that Marvel does have a female role. It definitely is really cool because, we always think of Marvel as the only, really superhero is Wonder Woman. That's what we think of. But it's cool to see that they did this with Agent Carter. I really like her character, and I definitely really like where they're going with that. And she also handled, some very good dramatic scenes. She's also very, very funny. She had me cracking up a lot, and I was surprised by how funny she really was. James Darcy as Jarvis is just awesome. Love his character. Love the relation between him and Peggy. Can't wait to see where that goes. Chad Michael Murray as Jack Thompson is kind of the guy that doesn't want Peggy to do anything. I thought his character was good. Nothing too special about him. I really like Enver Gaj. Excuse me if I pronounced the last name wrong. Gaj. I don't know. As Daniel Sousza. I thought he was a very good character. I really like his character, a lot. He's actually a war veteran who is an agent with the SSR and everything, and he experiences prejudice because of his crippled leg, and I like that he can relate to her because of that. I think that's cool, the relationship between them. I did hear there's going to be possibly a romance between them, and I think that could be very interesting because, of course, we have to find out... we have to find out who her husband is because we know that she got married. We know that she got married because she said that to Steve, and we have to find out who he is, and I honestly feel it's going to be Daniel. I feel that's going to be her husband. Shea Wigham as Roger Dooley, not much to say about him. I really like Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark, great character. You can already tell how much of Tony Stark he's going to be. And I definitely like all the other characters in this show. They're all very, very good. And the directing in the show is also fantastic. I think, honestly, the thing that really works great with the show is the tone. It really feels like we're in the 1940s. It really feels like it's in that time period. They know what time they're in. They know what they want to do with the show as well. It doesn't seem like they're just like, I don't know what to do here. That's not what it seems like with this show. It seems like they have an idea what they want to do, and I love that. I definitely love it. They actually know what they want to do here, because I wasn't sure if they were going to know what they want to do. But no, they do know what they want to do, and I'm very happy that they do, because it's important for them to know what they want to do. So it's really good that they do. The score to the show is great too. Cinematography is awesome. Editing is great. Overall, I love the show. I can't wait for the next episode. What are Howard and Jarvis hiding? Is it about S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is it about something else? I don't know. Is everything that Howard said to Peggy a lie? I don't know. I could definitely see it being a possibility, but maybe he was telling the truth. Jarvis obviously working with Howard. That's inevitable. You know, that's what's going to happen there. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with this blonde wig. You know, is Peggy going to be in that blonde wig more? That was honestly one of the highlights of the episode. Is there going to be more flashbacks with her and Steve? I really love seeing that as well. Is she going to be able to convince SSR that, yeah, they can trust her? I want to see that happen. Sousza, is Sousza going to be the guy that she ends up marrying? I don't remember if she said who she married in Winter Soldier or not. I saw it once, and I don't really remember exactly what she said. But I'm not sure if she said the name. If not, then I definitely think Sousza is going to be that guy. But I can't wait for episode 2. And yes, I am reviewing both episodes individually. I haven't seen episode 2 yet. Probably won't watch until tomorrow. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for my review for the second episode of Agent Carter. So I'll see you guys for that. Let me know what you guys think of the show. Do you think it's more successful than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Now, let me say this. What do I think makes the show better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a very all-over-the-place show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really is an ensemble show. I think that's really the problem with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that it's an ensemble show. Not every character was interesting. Not every character's introduction was great. With this show, though, we only have really one main character. Our protagonist is Peggy Carter. So with that, it definitely feels more like an Arrow or a Flash. It definitely feels like more of that kind of show than it does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as I said, is definitely an ensemble show. But this feels more definitely like an Arrow or Flash, and I definitely could see this being very successful. This really does feel like a show that it's going for 8 episodes, but I really hope it goes for longer. I want to see this, honestly. I'd be fine if they did half a season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and half a season of Agent Carter, but I know they're not doing that. I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back, but if they want to do that next year, I'd be happy with that. I'd be fine with that. If you want to make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 10 episodes, and you want to make Agent Carter for the rest of the year, I'd be fine with that. I really love this idea. I think it's a great idea. I can't wait to see it. I did not see the Ant-Man trailer yet. I haven't seen it. I have to watch it, but that's for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. See you guys in the next video, which will be my review for the second episode, and I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.